Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks had a night off tonight. For the most part. At least that's the way it felt, Tony. What's poppin' with you, my brother? How you feeling tonight after the Knicks take care of the San Antonio Spurs? And, I don't know if this is the best game of the season because, the Spurs are a young team learning. Maybe the Clippers game was the best game of the season, but a very, very good basketball game from the Knicks tonight.
Yeah, this is I'm good. I'm doing good, Sim. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Shout out to the chat. Your Blackest Time. I'm doing good, man. After this win, I thought this could have been a trap game or a game that they took for granted.
Right.
And they obviously came in with a game plan.
Right.
And put the pressure on early.
Early.
You know what I mean?
Early.
From the tip off and took care of business.
Took care of business, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks went up 8 right off the bat. No jokes involved. They went up 8 right off the bat. Then they go up, right off the top, they go up double digits. You know what I mean? They used their physicality. They bullied them. They pushed Wembanyama all over the court. They made him go wherever they wanted him to go. Right? And then because they took advantage of the Spurs youth as well. They took advantage of things that they know how to do because they're more of a veteran team. They executed a game plan. And they won. 126-105. Had a double-digit lead for most of the basketball game. This is the way that you want to see the Knicks play basketball. They're not going to win like this every single night, obviously. But when you play a team like the Spurs, and I'm not even mad at the Spurs obviously I'm not mad at the Spurs, but they're a young team. They played like a young team. They made young team mistakes. You know what I mean? Turnovers and missing layups on fast breaks and just doing young team things. That's what they're supposed to do. They're a young team. They got a lot of learning to go. I think they got the right coach to help them learn. They talked a little bit in the telecast about how they're trying to bring Victor Wembanyama along and all of that stuff. But the Knicks took care of business. They did what they were supposed to do tonight. Impressive, very impressive victory from the New York Knicks. Before we get into the box score and game stats and then some fan reactions, I want to give a shout out to my man Andre Chapman. Thank you for the Cash App, ladies and gentlemen. That was earlier today that he hit me with the Cash App, so I wanted to make sure that I shouted Andre out. As you know, the channel is demonetized, so if you can support me, support me. If not, it's okay. Just keep rocking with me. You support me that way too. But if you can, Cash App, $ nothing but Knicks. You see it right up there at the top of the screen. And I'd also like to give a shout out to my man, 100 grand, Chester Nason. Shout out to you for the support. He said, I appreciate you, Sim and MBK. Chester, we appreciate you as well. Thank you for always supporting us, Chester. Tony, do you remember the first time when we did the Booking.com commercial? Mm-hmm. And Chester is 70 plus years old, ladies and gentlemen. He rolled up and he was hooping with us, took his shirt off and everything. The brother was balling. I was like, oh, okay, Chester, that's what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? He was Big Bubba didn't make it out there. But, he had more stamina than Big Bubba.
Shout out to Chester. Who's Mark?
Yeah, who's Mark was out there.
Gmo.
Well, Gmo came a little bit later on. He didn't come out there. You know what I'm saying? And we just saw Chester at the little watch party the other day too, man. So big shout out to my man Chester. Thank you. I definitely appreciate you, my bro, for the PayPal. Without a doubt. So let's get to the box score, ladies and gentlemen. Good games all over the floor from the Knicks. a very well-balanced basketball game, I thought, from the Knicks. You know what I mean? R.J. Barrett, Jalen Brunson led the team in scoring with 25. All right, 25 from Jalen Brunson, 6 assists. He shot okay from the field, 42.1%. He shot 62.5% from the three-point line, though. Jalen Brunson was 5 for 8 from the three-point line. R.J. Barrett, another very good game from R.J. Barrett, ladies and gentlemen. 24 points tonight, 6 assists. He shot 8 for 17 from the field. He was 5 for 9 from the three-point line. R.J. Barrett has answered the call. People asked for R.J. Barrett to come out strong. And this brother has came out super strong. That's probably a pause moment, but he did. You know what I mean? Yo, RJ is hooping. He's playing really, really good basketball, and this changes the New York Knicks. No doubt about it. No doubt. Julius Randle, 23 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, just 2 turnovers. He only shot 42% from the field, only 33% from 3, but, it was a decent game from Julius Randle. I asked in the pregame, Tony, for RJ, Julius, and Brunson to all play well on the same night, and we did it. We got it done. We got it done for the most part. For the most part. Julius Randle really did impose his will out there, use his strength, use his brutality to command his spot.
By far the most comfortable he's looked so far this year.
Yep. And playing against a team like the Spurs, you can get comfortable. You know what I mean? Because they're just not as strong. They're not as experienced. You know what I mean? So these are the kind of games where you catch your rhythm. Emmanuel Quickly, 19 points and 5 assists. 13 points and 3 rebounds from Isaiah Hartenstein. And I don't want to skip over Mitchell Robinson, who had to deal with Victor Wembanyama and did a good job. 8 points, 12 rebounds for Mitchell Robinson. And, of course, he played defense on Wembanyama. Good games across the board from the New York Knicks. 5 guys in double digits, 2 guys with double-digit rebounds. 28 assists for the Knicks tonight. Very good game. Very good game.
3 guys with 20-plus points, or what Quickly ended up with?
Quickly ended up with 19.
19. Yep, so 3 guys with 20-plus.
3 guys with 20-plus.
And then 19 for Quick.
Yeah. You know what? You can't ask for much more than that. As for the San Antonio Spurs, ladies and gentlemen, they were led in scoring by Jeremy Sohan, all right, who is playing point guard, also playing some small forward. I mean, they're really playing a game that is positionless in some aspects, right? Because Sohan is more of a small forward size. He had 16 points, though, 58% from the field, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Victor Wembanyama, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 28.6. He shot 28.6% from the field, 0 for 4 from the three-point line. He was 6 for 6 from the free throw line. But you can see the potential of Victor Wembanyama. You know what I'm saying? You can definitely see the potential. The kid, he's got athleticism, and even though he's 7'4", he's skinny, right? But he's got some muscle tone too. He's just not strong yet. He's 19 years old or whatever it is. He's not strong. He's not grown man strong. He's not grown man strong yet. When he does, he's going to be a problem. When he gets that strength, he's going to be a problem. He's going to be tough to deal with. You know what I mean? Super tough to deal with. Zach.
And
go ahead. Go ahead.
The good thing, I mean, it's a good thing for them and for him is, in the meantime, he's figuring out how to maneuver how he is. You know what I mean? How to avoid some, how to take some. So when he gets that strength and he could go through contact, oh man, what are we gonna do?
Yeah. He's gonna be tough, man. You know, he's athletic. He seems to have a good feel for the game, a good touch with the basketball. It's gonna be good. Malachi Branham, 14 points for the Spurs. Zach Collins had 11 points and 7 rebounds. Trey Jones, 12 points and 5 assists. San Antonio had 31 assists tonight. Couldn't shoot three ball though.
I think they had 20 something in the first half.
Yeah, something like that. They shot the 3 ball 26.5%. They were 48.9% from the field altogether. But the Knicks dominated this one, ladies and gentlemen. You know, good game from the New York Knicks. You know, Tony, anything really in particular that you'd like to point out about this basketball game? And I see my guy D Public Enemy. You know, he said grown men can't be grown men anymore. They gotta say pause. You know, I honestly, D Public Enemy, I normally don't say it. It's just as I was speaking, and you know, and as you know, it just sounded like that didn't sound right, so I said it. Normally I don't, but I dig what you're saying though. I feel you. I kind of feel you on that. You know what I mean? But anything, Tony, that just anything about this game that stuck out to you?
Really, RJ Barrett. It was a play late in the third or fourth quarter. I think it might have been the fourth, where he could have had a layup and he dished the ball to Randall for a dunk. And this is the second time this year where I'm like, yo, we wouldn't have seen that pass last year.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like we would not have seen that particular pass last year, not because of Randall, but like just to anybody. Like RJ had tunnel vision in a sense, and he's really putting it all together. You know what I mean? Early in the season too, like we've never seen this from him in the beginning of the year. So it's like I'm trying to curb my enthusiasm.
Yeah,
but there's a RJ Barrett show coming soon. I know it is.
Yeah,
I'm trying to wait for the right moment.
I mean, he's just playing really, really good basketball. You know, there's what else can you say? He's playing really good basketball right now. Last year, he was forcing stuff. Last year, felt like he was forcing stuff. Felt like he was trying to prove that he belonged. You know, here comes Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? He was over the hill with Julius Randle. Now here comes Jalen Brunson. Now everybody forgets about RJ. And I'm not saying that he's selfish. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I think every player is going to be like, oh, okay, all right. Brunson is here. Let me prove that I belong with these guys too. I want my name mentioned with them too. So not so much about that he's jealous of them, but he wants to be mentioned along with those guys. And he was kind of, most people, who's the number one guy now? RJ's definitely number 3. He might be number 4, but you know what I'm saying? And he hears it. So I felt like he was forcing a little bit last year, trying to prove his worth, if that's what you want to say. This year, I think he's a little more relaxed, comfortable with who he is as a player, comfortable with his position on the team.
But it's just a lot of him making the right reads now.
Yep.
That is to me, that's like a staple, because it's less forced shots, which in turn is making uh less missed shots. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
a lot of times those forced shots weren't going in.
Right. And
You know,
it's like my man right here, Jay Williams, is saying, they know each other. They trust each other. And when you know your teammates, when you trust your teammates, when you finally learn that my teammates have my back, they want me to succeed, I want them to succeed, it becomes easier to make those passes that you're talking about. You know what I mean? It becomes easier to pass up on a shot that you might have. It becomes easier to do that. And you're seeing it. You're seeing it, Big shout out to Tariq Graham. Appreciate you for the cash out, my brother. You said, this is for you to keep rocking. That's what we're going to do. We're going to keep rocking. That's the plan. We're going to keep rocking. We're going to keep making things happen. For me, Tony, the bench. I just love to play the bench right now. The bench, they're playing beautiful basketball, up-tempo basketball. They play with a lot of energy, with having Dante DiVincenzo out there, with having Josh Hart out there. They're playing up-tempo, aggressive, hustle basketball. You know what I'm saying? And it's making you get excited when they get in the game. You can't wait to see what they're going to do, because something's going to happen. Something exciting is going to happen when those guys get in the game. They play really, really well together.
Yeah, it's not too many second units that are going to out hustle our second unit.
No, it's not.
From Hartenstein to Hart to DiVincenzo, you know what I mean? Like them three alone is going to out hustle another second unit.
Right. And they might out hustle some starting units. We've seen them out hustle the Los Angeles Clippers.
Facts.
Right? They out hustled them because that's just how they play. And they have all bought into. I don't even know if you're going to say they bought into Tom Thibodeau's style. They went out and got players that just play that way. This is how they play. No matter what team they're on, they're going to hustle, they're going to battle, they're going to fight. No matter what team they're on, this is how they play. And so Tom Thibodeau helps to embellish that in these guys. You know what I mean? I'm really impressed with the bench. And
yeah, they made Ty Lue throw in the towel.
Made Ty Lue throw in the towel. You know what I'm saying? Made him throw in the towel. Quickly tonight, again, 19 points from Quickly, 13 points, 3 rebounds from Isaiah Hartenstein. Dante DiVincenzo didn't do much in the scoring output tonight. He was 1 for 6. But you've seen what he's been able to do over the past, couple games. Josh Hart is always hustling. All of these guys can run the break and score on the break. Small as they are, they're all able to be effective on the break, and they can rebound the ball. Because Dante DiVincenzo can jump out the gym. Josh Hart can jump, and he's got long arms. Of course, Isaiah Hartenstein can jump. And then when RJ Barrett is out, not jump, but he's big. When RJ Barrett is out there with those guys, he's able to help rebound.
Yeah. And Quickly is a good rebounding guard.
He is. Wave Space said that Greg Pop said at halftime that he had no idea how to stop the Knicks. You got the sound bite. Here's the thing. Sometimes you just don't know how to stop the opposing team. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. Sometimes you're just like, I don't know what to do. These guys are better than us.
A safe space. You might have to send that to Sim. We might need that for the losers.
We might need that on the losers lounge because there's some San Antonio fans that are unhappy with Greg Pop. Can you believe that? Unhappy with him. You know, Tariq Graham said the Knicks' second unit, they're small, but they're pesty. Get their hands on everything. That's exactly who they are and what they are. Exactly. What did you think about the Knicks' offense tonight?
It feels like they're getting more and more comfortable. And to your point, to your credit, especially that second unit.
Mm-hmm.
Hartenstein is looking comfortable. DiVincenzo's finding his way. Quickly's being quickly. Excuse me. I don't know how many assists we had. I know they had more assists than us.
Yeah, we had 28 assists though.
But that's still, that's still a good number.
That's a
good number.
That's a great number because last year,
yeah, 28 was one of the good games for us. So
28 was an exceptional game for us. Shoot. We were always,
18, 19.
Yeah, if we got 20, if we got 22 assists, we were happy last year because we just, we weren't getting no assists last year.
So I mean, it seems like they're buying in. You know what I mean? Like even RJ in the post game talked about everybody. He didn't know the numbers, but he's like, a lot of people had big numbers tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like an obvious thing,
right?
That he's like, we sharing the ball, we finding each other.
Yeah, and the overpassing that we've talked about, Tom Thibodeau's talked about on occasion, or at least at the last game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the overpassing, even the overpassing he's talking about, I think it comes from coaching.
He said it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. It comes from coaching. Him probably saying, hey, don't be afraid to make the extra pass. In the beginning of last game, the commentators were like, see, Julius Randle's got to take that. Right? He made a couple of extra passes where he had an open three. He made the extra pass. Sometimes when you're working on making these extra passes, you got to figure out which one is the right one to make. Do I take this one or do I pass it?
And it's trial and error. Because you really should be, here go a Tibbism, but reading the defense. The game's going to tell you what to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So a lot of times you don't realize that extra pass was a bad pass until afterwards. You know what I mean? Like that guy recovered quickly. Right. I should have took it. You know what I mean? Right. Or vice versa. So it's trial and error, and then you read it, and then next time you know what I mean. So
yeah, that's how it goes. You look at it, you watch the video, and you say, all right, next time I'm gonna make sure I take that shot. Sometimes even then, sometimes it's hard because you might anticipate, well, this guy's coming towards me. He's coming to me. He's going to close out on me. So I better go ahead and make the swing. And then maybe the guy closes out slow or, whatever it is. You can look at it. But I think as long as you're trying to make the right play, it's going to happen. And I think the Knicks have been trying to make the right plays. Hopefully it continues to go this way. Now, do I expect them to shoot? They shot 45% from three tonight. I'm not expecting them to shoot that high of a clip from three every night, obviously. I'm hoping they can be between 38 and 40% for the season. 45% is great. They shot 46% from the field. Grabbed 47 rebounds, 28 assists, 7 steals tonight, no blocks for the Knicks. Only shot 68% from the free throw line. 50 points in the paint for the Knicks, 58 for the San Antonio Spurs. The Knicks, 22 second chance points. The Spurs, 13. The Knicks had 16 fast break points, and the Spurs had 11. Overall, this was a very well-rounded game from the New York Knicks. And, they win 2 straight at home. They win, this is their first time all season winning 2 straight. They got a 3rd home game coming up, right? When is this? Friday?
Sunday, I think.
Is it
Sunday
Sunday?
and Monday? We got back-to-back Sunday and Monday, I think.
Okay.
Because I thought it was this Monday.
Okay, so that's
Monday.
right. They're off. They're off for a couple of days. And then they got 2 back-to-backs in a row again. Gotta love the schedule makers for the NBA. So this is
gonna build character for us.
Yeah, this is the way to go off into a little bit of a break, right? Feeling good, because how bad would it have been if the Knicks lost this game? Now you're going, and they're back 2 games below 500, and then you go into this little bit of a break. Wouldn't have felt good. Now they've won 2 in a row. They're back to 500. They're on a 2-game win streak at home. They have a chance to make it a 3-game sweep if they can win on Sunday. I think it's an early game on Sunday. Have to check.
It's the 12:01.
Yeah.
It's the 12:01.
I think it's an early game. So that they have a chance to, and then they'll have a chance to go back above 500. So they put themselves in a pretty good position. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor and smash that like button, please. All right. Keep hitting them likes. The more you hit the like buttons, the more the algorithms pick it up. We want the algies to pick it up, ladies and gentlemen. Hit those like buttons for me, please. Right? And if you're feeling good, support the channel. Cash App is $ nothing but Knicks. PayPal is paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. And I do want to let you know to pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, I can't say too much right now, but next week, we're gonna have a special piece of clothing coming out. It's gonna be dope. I partnered up with Print Jurisdiction, for some merchandise. So just be on the lookout for that. Of course, we're gonna show it on the channel, debut it on the channel, whatever you want to call it. And then hopefully next week we'll also be taking some pre-orders. But it's definitely dope. I'll just say that. It's pretty dope. I think that you're gonna enjoy it. This merchandise. I think you're gonna enjoy it. Shout out to Print Jurisdiction, ladies and gentlemen.
For sure.
Yeah. Tony knows what it is. He's seen it already. You haven't, but you will. Soon. Very soon. Anything negative about this game? And I'm not trying to, I don't want people to feel like, dang, why are you looking for something negative? But maybe I shouldn't say negative. Anything that you're like, I didn't like this, I didn't like that.
I think it's coming right now.
Huh?
I said I think it's coming in right now. Not really. I was thoroughly impressed by the Knicks' effort. I missed 2 quarters this time, so I saw the second half. I was listening in though. But like I said, it seemed like they was on a mission from jump,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't really take their foot off the gas. They had a little hiccup late in the 4th, I think, or middle of the 4th. Timeout, cleaned it right up, went back up double digits, and that's all they wrote. I can't. What was Grimes' shot selection? I guess that might be my only gripe. What he took, was it 4 shots again?
Yeah,
what I mean? But
to be honest with you, I ain't even tripping on the Grimes thing. We took 5 shots. It's 3 for 5 tonight.
I mean,
8 points.
I wouldn't even complain about that. You took 5, you hit 3. I want you to shoot more, but good for you, bro.
Yeah.
Nice team win.
Yeah. My man Wave Space said he got the pic that I sent on IG. But you know what? Wave Space, you're right. But that's only half of it. I guess I'll say that. That's only half of it. That's only the back half of it, not the front. Yeah, not the front. That's only the back half. The front is dope. So just be on the lookout for it. But Quentin Grimes, I ain't even, I there's certain things that I want him to do, but if it works with the lineups, just let it stay. That's what I'm gonna say. If the lineups are working, let it stay. I'm not saying that. Yeah.
If we got to win a record after 20 games, it ain't, you know what I mean? Tibbs ain't doing nothing.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Let it stay. Uncle Fulio. I do have one thing, but I'll let Uncle Fulio come in, and say his piece. What's going on, Uncle Fulio? Your boy RJ. What's up?
Salute, fellas.
What's up?
No, I'm gonna get there. Salute. Can you guys hear me? Make sure
we can hear you. You sound like you're underwater a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how much you spent for them, $20 Bluetooths you got in, but you gotta spend more than 20, Josh. You gotta at least go 25. I don't know.
These are definitely AirPods, new generation. But salute to you guys. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Salute to the chat. Salute to MBK family. Salute to nothing but Knicks. Great win tonight. But I just want to comment on a couple things. First thing. This whole thing with Quentin Grimes, I don't know why people expected so much more from him this season. His role has been catch and shoot in this offense. The Knicks run a ton of catch and shoot anyway. Drive, kick out. That's what the Knicks do. That's Quentin Grimes' role. Now, it would be nice if Quentin Grimes could provide some of that other stuff that we're talking about, but I didn't expect much coming from Quentin Grimes this season as far as a different role. Dribbling the basketball, more pull-up shots, things of that nature. That's not what his role is in this offense. So despite it, let's say after 20 games we have a losing record, Tony, I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to change as far as that starting lineup is concerned from Tibbs' perspective, right? He's out there. His role is catch and shoot, play defense on the best wing or guard in the other team. That's it. So I don't expect much more from him. As far as RJ, Sam, that you brought up, I like the improvements that I'm seeing from him. But I'm going to go on record and saying this right now. I still don't think RJ is the right player at that position for this particular team. He's playing well. I'm not saying he's not playing well. Definitely an improvement. The pull-up numbers are still not there. The Knicks need more pull-up shooting from the 2 or 3 spot in order for them to take that next level, in my opinion. RJ's playing well, okay. But he doesn't provide that pull-up shooting.
Can I jump in, right? Can I jump in for a minute? Because you're giving you're giving Quentin Grimes a pass because you're saying, how come, what did people expect from Quentin Grimes, this and that and this and that. But now you're saying that we need pull-up jump shooting from that 2 position. And I think people want to see his development, right? That's what people are looking for. Did he develop the ability to go off the dribble? Did he develop the ability to, have a pull-up jump shot? Because you're saying we need it from one of those positions or both of those positions. And I think that's the reason why people had, I don't know if people expected him to be a star or this or that, but we're looking to see, did he develop those things?
And it's
I'm not giving him a pass at all.
Real quick.
Okay,
it's going to come a time where we need it from Grimes. It's going to come a time where he's going to have to be able to produce it, or it's going to be a liability. I'm not saying that it's going to be his role definitively, but we've seen how things change, especially come playoff time. You know what I mean? And it'd be nice for him to add something. That's all I'm saying. I only mentioned it because he asked for something negative. You know what I mean? I was grasping because tonight was great.
Maybe I should have said areas of improvement. You know what I mean?
So, no, and I understand that, and I definitely understand that. But the difference between Grimes and RJ is RJ coming into the season, RJ is not a shooter. Right now, if we can replace that 2 guard with somebody who can pull up off the dribble, Grimes can go. So I'm not giving Grimes a pass. I'm just saying for what he provides offensively as far as the catch and shoot and his role within the offense, that's why he's there. I'm not giving Grimes a pass at all. Grimes was drafted 20-something overall. RJ was drafted number 3. And the expectation amongst Knicks fans and a lot of the RJ stands or whatever is for RJ to take that next step. And he's been playing well. But again, either the 2 or 3 position, we need to have somebody to improve their pull-up numbers. In addition to the defense. Grimes gives you the defense, and his role within the offense is he's a shooter, catch and shoot. So that's where I was coming from. I'm not giving Grimes a pass at all whatsoever, but the expectations are different. All right, Sim? So, yeah, I never was trying to do that at all.
I mean, the expectations are, they're definitely different, the expectations, but I still think there's an expectation for development. That's all.
Of course. But again, the Knicks don't run their offense that way in order to allow Quentin Grimes to do that anyway. His role is what his role is. That's why they play the type of system that they play. Now, if it was up to me, I still don't like this system, and I was going to get to that point. The Knicks' improvement tonight and the Clipper game, right, was they made shots. People were saying at the beginning of the season, why the Knicks not able to score offensively. Randall, Brunson's numbers came down, and then we were trying to figure out what was a way for the Knicks to improve the offense. And all they did tonight was make shots. They didn't do anything different as far as schematically to improve. They just made shots. I am still not a fan of this offense and how we run because I think come playoff time, it's much easier for us to defend, for teams to defend us like we've seen in that Miami series. But if I'm going to sit here and accept this offense, all we did was shot better tonight. And that's why we won this game the way we did. San Antonio's a young team. I expected Wembanyama to score 40 tonight. He didn't. Off shooting game, but he missed a lot of shots from deep that he normally would make. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what happened. But good win tonight. I'm glad we're 4-4. I never thought it was going to be desperation mode for us. I think that was really a fan thing. It's too early in the season to call for desperation. And what did you say? Some I forgot, rock bottom and stuff like that. Way too early in the season for that. So I was very surprised that you said that. But that's it.
That I said what?
Desperation or rock bottom. You kept saying that the Knicks are desperate. I don't think the Knicks themselves were desperate. I think that's more of a fan thing because of we see what the record is. This is too early in the season for any team to be desperate.
No, I said
I disagree with it.
I said that I didn't think they hit rock bottom yet.
Right.
I said I didn't think that we had, at that point, I didn't think we had seen the worst of what we were going to see during that stretch. But
you did say the Knicks were desperate, though.
I do think they were desperate. You go down 2-4 on the season, I think a little bit of desperation sets in. Like, yo, we're 2-4. We're getting ready to play the Los Angeles Clippers. We could be 2-5. We need to get a win. I think anytime, I don't care if it's the beginning of the season or the end, I think anytime you go down below 500 and you have expectations on your season, you should approach that game, the next game, with some desperation. Because you have expectations.
I agree with you, but I think the Knicks thinking that way. It's way too early. NBA season's long, like you've always told me. So I don't think the Knicks were feeling that way.
Yeah, I'm not saying desperation in the fact like, oh my God, we're about to not make the playoffs. I'm not speaking that type of desperation. I'm thinking I'm feeling desperation like I'm below 500. This is not who we are. We've got to come out and prove that we're a team that belongs above 500. You know what I'm saying? And because if not, we're going to be 3 games, and then it can go to 4 games, 5 games. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of desperation I'm saying. Not the type of desperation like, oh, I'm looking forward to the playoffs, and because we're 2-4, we may not make the playoffs. I'm speaking, let's stop it. Let's get ourselves back on track. You know what I mean?
I understand. I just thought about it a little different, but yeah, that's all I got, Sam. It's early. The Knicks are 4-4. I'm glad that they're 4-4. The whole thing with the schedule, the back-to-backs. I mean, listen, a lot of Knicks fans thought that this team was going to at the very least, get back to where they were last season. A lot of Knicks fans, I never thought that. I thought that that the roster is still flawed in a way. I think the Knicks, what they did last year is important, and I think that it is real. However, the lack of improvement to the roster, in my opinion, ultimately will be their downfall, and the way they run their offense come playoff time. So, I mean, I guess we'll see. That's going to be down the road. But the whole thing with the schedule, everyone in the NBA is going through this. Like, this is not new. A lot of teams are playing back-to-back. A lot of teams are going through this. So, if we're going to be at that next level, we got to win straight up. And, I'm glad we won tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to push back a little bit about the offense. I do think this team's offense is a little bit different. They're playing faster. They're pushing the ball up the floor quicker, which is leading to quicker shots. You know what I mean? And, you can shake your head. That's cool. I think that you are seeing they had 28 assists tonight. This is not the first time that they've had a high number of assists. And it's because the ball is moving, because they're finding open players. Now, obviously, if you're not making shots, I don't care what offense you run. You can run the best, the most efficiently designed offense in the world that was ever made. That the basketball gods said, I'm putting this in your playbook. If you don't make shots, it's going to look like trash. I don't care what offense it is.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So I think the Knicks are playing faster. I think they're making quicker decisions. Obviously, they're going to have times when they revert backwards because that's what progression looks like. Progression is not a straight line. It goes up and down, right? That's what development looks like. So they're going to have times where they seep back into it. Then we got to look to see, do they go back to trying to play faster with more man movement, more ball movement. And I think we're seeing that from this basketball team. I mean, we're seeing, Randall, or it might be Brunson or RJ. Catch that ball, get that ball at the elbow, right? Take a couple of dribbles, boom, come to a jump stop, couple of fakes, no kick out, backdoor cut from Brunson or RJ or Josh Hart, right? Find them on the backdoor cut. We're seeing little things like that. It's not going to all happen at one time, but I think we're seeing a much more faster style of play from this team than we've seen in the past.
So Sam, last thing I'll say about real quick, Tony, last thing I'll say about the offense. First of all, the numbers don't suggest that at all. But I'm not going to get into the numbers, anything like that. When I mentioned the Knicks offense, because we were third in offensive rating last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the offense is designed to get you through a regular season. So during a regular season, there's going to be ups and downs, like you mentioned. Come playoff time, that's where I was referring to, because it's much easier to defend that style of offense in the playoffs when there is that lack of ball movement, right? And last season, we kind of started off the same way. Like, offense was doing really good, things of that nature. But again, come playoff time, I don't like the style of play come playoff time without that pull-up shooting, right? So, listen, I think it's going to go up and down, and Knicks are going to go on some winning streaks. They're going to go on some losing streaks. 45 games, we'll get to the playoffs again, all that good stuff. Come playoff time is where it matters. But obviously, we're not at the playoffs now. I'm just telling you as a fan, personally, I'm not a fan of the way the Knicks run their offense. And you talk about cutting in the man movement. That man movement is happening around the perimeter. Seldom do you see people cut to the basket off the ball, right? They're doing a lot of dribble handoff. That's their action. They don't do anything as far as getting easy shots inside. And you're correct. If you don't make shots, whatever. But I think the offense needs to be designed for you to get easy shots. Yeah, easy shots does not mean open shots. Does not mean open shots. Those are two totally different things. Because we were open during the Miami series, but to me, I don't think those were easy shots. So that's why.
Why weren't they easy shots?
I have an issue with the style of play.
Why weren't they easy shots?
Again?
Why weren't they easy shots if they're open?
Yep, because we did exactly what Miami wanted us to do. The way they played us and the style of play they played defensively, they wanted Josh Hart to be open to take those 3-point shots. They wanted that. We played right into their hands because of our style of play. Now, having quickly out there, that could have kind of countered that in a way. But open shots does not always mean easy shots. That's my
open
point.
Shots doesn't always mean great shots. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it doesn't always mean good shots. Because Mitchell Robinson could be wide open doesn't mean it's going to be a good shot. But I would still take my chances on Josh Hart being wide open from. If Miami does that again this year, I would still take my chances on Josh Hart being wide open from the 3-point line, Dante DiVincenzo, Quentin Grimes, Jalen Brunson. I would still take my chances on those guys being wide open from the 3-point line because they can hit it, and they can hit it.
I know they can, but they didn't.
They didn't.
They can, but they didn't.
They didn't. I mean, clearly they didn't. But I would still take my chances on those guys being open, and that the second time around, if that same thing happened with Miami again, that they're going to hit it this time. You know what I'm saying? Depending on who's taking the shot might determine whether or not it's a good or bad shot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, open shots, you got to make your open shots. You got open shots, you got to make them. And if your offense is getting open shots, I think you got to make them. But I do think we're seeing more cuts to the basket. I mean, I just mentioned those guys. I can go back and pull off probably a bunch of times already this season where we've seen Randall at the elbow and Brunson cut back door, deliver the pass. RJ cut back door. DiVincenzo cut back door. Josh Hart cut back door. It's not every single play. You know what I'm saying? But, we got to give it a chance to see if it can continue to grow, because I just think we're seeing faster play from this team. I think we're seeing faster play.
I feel like even Brunson is making a more conscious effort. And last year it was difficult, probably learning to play with Mitchell Robinson. But now he's learning how to draw Mitchell Robinson's defender away while attacking the rim and feeding Mitchell Robinson. And I think Robinson's strength is helping with him get those passes underneath and finish. Also, the pick and roll between Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle. We saw it again tonight. That's back-to-back games now. I don't know if this is going to become a new staple, but that's another thing that I think will open up the floor and open up the driving lanes for others, backdoor cuts, not just for Mitch, but for others off that pick and roll with Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle. So
running the pick and roll, we've seen the pick and roll with Mitchell Robinson seldomly, right? The Knicks don't run a ton of pick and roll since Tom Thibodeau's been here. The play that I think about when it comes to Mitchell Robinson in the pick and roll is they give RJ the ball, and then it's the pick and roll, like right off out of bounds play, side out of bounds. The Knicks, that's a part of it. I've seen that play a ton.
I'm talking specifically Randle and Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. So I mean, I guess that is a new wrinkle, but again, to me, that's not a backdoor. That's a play, a set play for those guys, a two-man game essentially, right? And we've seen other two-man games as well. Again, through the dribble handoff. So the improvement and the implementation of Randle and Mitchell Robinson running the pick and roll is cool. I like to see that. I'm very optimistic about this team. I don't want people to think that I'm so down on this team. I'm not being negative at all. However, we've seen this movie before. During the regular season, the Knicks are going to play well. They're going to compete with every team. They're going to be resilient. That's the benefit of having a coach like Tom Thibodeau. They're going to play defense, things of that nature. However, again, there's another level for us to get to. And I just don't think with this roster and this coach that they're going to get to that level, in my opinion. Well, but I'm optimistic. I'm just saying
I'm seeing different things. I'm just saying I'm seeing different things. I'm seeing different ways that this offense can open up. Just the simple fact that you're seeing Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle run the pick and roll allows this offense more spacing, right? We've been arguing about spacing, right? The fact that Mitchell Robinson is setting the screen for Julius Randle on occasions, right? And then Randle is the ball handler in the pick and roll. Now, Mitchell Robinson's guy has to defend him because he can catch the lob. Julius Randle's guy has to defend him. And then you got guys in the corners like RJ Barrett, who's knocking down the three, Quentin Grimes, who can knock down the three, creating space, which could allow either one of those guys to also cut to the basket, or Jalen Brunson to cut to the basket, right? Things go in development, and I think I'm seeing new things from this offense.
Sam, let me ask you something about that pick and roll play. Real quick. Let me ask you something about that pick and roll play. And this goes to Brunson as well. And the Knicks don't run a ton of it. This is a new implementation. Do you think that play will work as well if Julius Randle is not shooting the ball well from the mid-range or in the pull-up game? Because I agree with you, and I agree with you, like, as far as that new implementation. But again, the lack of the pull-up shooting for this team does not allow that play to be as successful as it should be to open up those other things.
It opens, right? It makes a whole new threat is what it does. Mm-hmm. Randle hasn't been playing well.
Shooting.
He hasn't been playing well. He hasn't been playing well all year.
But that was the question.
The fact that it's been implemented the last two games, and we've seen the outcome from it. Not saying it's like 100% success rate, but we've seen what it does to the offense. I mean, so yes, he's gonna
How
need.
so?
What do you mean?
How so,
Like,
Tony? Well, what are you saying? How have we seen it impact the offense? Like, you talking about the last 2 games, tonight and the Clipper game?
yes, those are the
These
first
are
two
the these
times.
are the
Okay.
times. This is when
I've
we've seen it.
implemented.
Okay. Understand what I'm saying. I agree with you guys. I'm not disagreeing with that. I like that new implementation. However, do we think that Randall is going to be that type of pull-up player to make that play work, not just in the regular season, but come playoff time? So I'm not talking about Randall's entire. I'm talking specifically about pull-up shooting. And that's the reason why
he's going to need to. But I don't know if I've seen him pull up off of that pick and roll yet. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying it's been successful, and he hasn't. I don't think he's shot a pull up off of that pick and roll with Mitchell Robinson yet.
Okay,
it's usually
right. But come playoff time, my whole thing is come playoff time, we're gonna need that pull up shooting because again, if Randall is like, let's say he's not pulling up off of that, right, and that's taken out, and a lot of our offense is based on pull up shooting, and right now Quickly and Brunson are only 2 guards that provide that, right? If we don't have that part of it, come playoff time, that's what makes it easier to be defended. And that's why I harp on that. If we're going to run that offense, cool, whatever. We need pull-up shooting. We need pull-up shooting. And Brunson's numbers have been down from pull-up to pull-up, right? So that's a lot of the reason why our offense hasn't been that good, because even though we're running a ton of ISO, less cuts, the pull-up numbers are down across the board. So that's the reason where our offensive problems came from. And I think in order for that to be successful, to pick and roll, we're going to need elite pull-up shooting from someone, whoever's the ball handler in that pick and roll.
Yeah,
So
I mean, right now it's working. Let's see where it goes, because even if you're not getting the shot, and this is a lot of times where we're seeing Brunson or Josh Hart or RJ Barrett hit a backdoor cut, Julius Randle will come off that screen. He'll come off that screen, and if he's not going to pull it, he'll pick it up. One of those guys a backdoor cut, and he finds them. And that backdoor cut is available because Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle are running that pick and roll, which opens up the lane to the basket. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying there are a lot of things that I think I am seeing from this team, that they're working their way through, which has, one of the reasons why you've heard complaints about overpassing. I think they're trying to work their way through some things. And with RJ Barrett, I have no complaints. I have no complaints because I think that, he's found some spots that he's comfortable getting to, and it's making him successful. He's figured out how to get inside the lane and make himself small. And I'm not talking about with speed, but make himself small, hold the defender off on his back, pull up a little floating jump shot, being able to kick the ball out while staying on his feet. You know what I'm saying? And make good decisions inside the lane. So even if he's not knocking down a pull-up jump shot, his ability to get in the lane and continue to hold off the defender, dribble the basketball low, attracts the defense, which is allowing good kickouts. You know what I'm saying? Which is opening up the perimeter, or when they close out, forcing a swing, which allows someone like Quentin Grimes or whoever else to then attack the basket. You know what I mean? This is another part of his game that is evolving, and it's growing. You know what I'm saying?
Agree 100%.
And as I'm seeing it grow, as I'm seeing it grow, and we've watched him make a couple of pull-up jump shots this year so far.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's very true. And
his game is growing.
In the post games and highlighted that point. Yeah, I came on in the air in the post game and highlighted that point because again, I think that's the next step along with the consistency. That's the next step for him in this game. All the elite scorers from the guard and wing spot are really good pull-up shooters, right? And particularly in our offense, that's what we need. So if RJ is doing that, and this pull-up numbers, statistically, is still not great this season, but I've seen that development in this game. So I'm not coming down on him. I think he has improved. I'm glad that he's starting off the season very strong offensively. But to me, I always point back to that pull-up game. If he can be consistent with that, I think that's where the stardom is going to come in. If he's going to be a star. But again, if the pull-up numbers are not there, I just think there's a limit to where this team can go based on the style of play offensively, the isolation. The Knicks are 29th or whatever in cuts or whatever. So statistically, we've seen little stuff, But yeah, we just need to be more be more consistent throughout the season.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens come playoff time.
Well,
so I'm not being a Debbie Downer, everyone. I'm just telling you how I feel.
I mean, I'm just saying, we played, we've seen what this offense could do tonight. I know we were playing the Spurs, but we also seen it against the Clippers. You know what I mean? Which is a much much more defensively sound team than the San Antonio Spurs, a much more experienced team, than the San Antonio Spurs. We've seen it against Atlanta. Obviously, there's been some games where they just didn't play well offensively. Still had a chance to win those games, but they've had some games where their offense has clicked and looked good and looked better. Now they got to string it together. You know what I mean? String it together.
Just like last season, just like the season before that. Again, I'm not seeing anything as far as schematically different. Like the Knicks are going to play this way during the regular season. They're going to have their stretches where they play well offensively and they don't play well offensively, right? They're going to have that. Regular season is not what I'm talking about for my mentality. I'm just thinking about come playoff time and when the game slows down, you got to play at least 4 games with your opponent. It's way easier for us to be defended playing that style of basketball.
And I'm just going to say, during playoff time, we got a ton of open looks from this offense. We got the open looks.
Doesn't mean they were easy shots. Does not mean they were easy. Doesn't not mean they were easy shots. I keep going back to that.
Well, I think what you're saying is kind of wrong. I think an open shot is an easy shot. You got to make it. I think it is an easy shot. I mean, you can have a layup right there. That's an easy shot. You got to make it. I think it. I'm
talking about the shooting.
An open shot doesn't mean it's a great shot. Depending on who's taking it, doesn't mean it's the best shot. But I think if you're wide open, and the Knicks were wide open a ton, and guys who were capable of making, I'm talking Quentin Grimes, wide open, shot 38% from the 3 during the regular season. Wide open.
Okay.
Jalen Brunson, wide open, shot 42%. R.J. Barrett didn't shoot well last year, right? You make those shots, it's different. You make a couple of those shots, it's different.
I mean,
right? But that's any offense.
We know that already.
But that's any offense. I just feel like if offense.
Any offense.
So in any offense, if you don't make the shots, it's still a good offense?
Understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that general statement. I'm talking about the nuance of it and how we run our offense, Sam. But that's a general statement. Obviously, you have to make shots.
You got to make the shots. And that's what I said. In any offense, you got to make the shots.
But the Knicks, you're generalizing that point. What I'm saying is the nuance of it. The Knicks, because they run heavy isolation, they need pull up. Okay, if the Knicks had, let's say, the Phoenix players, the Durant, Booker, and Beal, and they run the type of offense that they're running, that offense would be successful. I think that can be successful come playoff time. But because the Knicks have these guys who can't pull up, you have to run, to me, in my opinion, I think it's better for them come playoff time to run an offense where things are moving. That's why I like the fact that the Knicks have a transition game. I think that helped them last season is going to help them this season offensively because it's going to help them put more points on the board. And that's because of the defense, forcing turnovers, things like that. But when the game slows down, Miami wanted us to take those threes. You know why? There was no flow to our offense. Yeah, it was open. And like you said, it wasn't a great shot, easy shot, whichever way you want to put it. But we fell right into their hands. So again, pull-up shooting is what we're going to need come playoff time. This is so premature, but I've always felt this way.
I mean, I'm just saying I will fall into that hand again if they're going to leave us open from the 3-point line. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it was more, you also have, just the pressure of the playoffs, not being in that position before. There's a lot that goes into it, and of course, there were tough defensive games. If they're going to leave us wide open from the 3-point line the way that they did, I'll do it again because they were guarding the paint.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'll take those shots.
Remember how we agree on Quickly? Because Quickly wasn't there during that Heat series. Quickly was one of our best pull-up shooters. So again, if we would have had Quickly, I thought we would have fared much better offensively because of that pull-up shooting. And he didn't play great in that first series, but again, Miami would have to defend us different. So if you're talking about with Quickly, I mean, I would like that a lot, right? Because we can kind of keep Miami honest in that regard.
Right. And if we made the shots, it would have been different too. That's all I'm saying. If we made the shots, it would have been different because it's not like we were passing it out to incapable shooters. I could see if it was Hartenstein taking it. Mitchell Robinson taking it. It was guys who can make the shots, who had been making it all season long, shooting a high percentage, getting wide open looks. That's what I'm saying. And I would like to see more things happen in the offense. Of course, it gives you more alternatives to use. I would just like, but even if you put in all of these things, you got all of this movement and you don't make it, it don't matter. But back to this game here, the only thing that I had to complain about is, and I guess this is just natural, I felt like, sometime in maybe the third quarter, the Knicks kind of fell asleep. Maybe it was fourth quarter, fell asleep just a little bit. You know what I mean? And allowed, San Antonio's not going to stop playing. Spurs ain't going to stop playing. They're going to keep battling. They're going to keep going, right? Because that's who Pop is, right? That's who Pop is. They're going to keep battling. They're going to keep going. The Knicks fell asleep a little bit, when let the Spurs get back into the game. I mean, I think at one point they got down to a 12-point game. You know what I mean? But it's the NBA. Teams are going to make runs. They're not just going to fold over. They're going to try to figure out a way to get back in the game or just say, we got to get better, right? And Pop is going to teach them this is a moment that you got to fight. You can't stop playing. You can't just fold. You got to keep battling. Pop knows that this is a young team, so he's going to, they're going to take a lot of moral victories away from certain things that happen during the game. You know what I mean? So if you're down 30, all right, well, if we can get it back, let's get it back to 15. You might take that away and say, all right, look, this is what we did. Now, if we can extend this throughout the game, things like that. But I thought the Knicks fell asleep just a little bit while San Antonio kept playing. That's the only thing that I can really harp on tonight. You know what I mean? Only thing I could harp on tonight. Either one of you have a player of the game for tonight.
R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett.
I'm with it. R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett, heck of a game, man. Efficiency off the charts. 47% from the field. 55% from the three-point line. 24 points tonight. You know what I mean? The most.
How many assists?
6 assists tonight. Heck of a basketball game. The most efficient player on the team tonight. Well, actually, Quentin Grimes. But, when we talk about the number of shots, Quentin Grimes only took 5 shots. But when you talk about the number of shots, he was 3 for 3 from the free throw line. You know what I mean? Definitely the player of the game for the Knicks. Josh, you have a player of the game?
RJ played well tonight. I mean, I'm still looking at Mitchell Robinson. I think Mitchell Robinson, he has taken a huge step, as far as his development is concerned. We talk about development, we've been talking about that. Mitchell Robinson, because of what he does, and he's guarding Wembanyama tonight a little bit. And I still think Wembanyama missed some open shots that he would normally hit under normal circumstances, off night, whatever. But his ability to rebound the basketball, the putbacks, that helps our offense when we're not making those shots, right? So I like that part. Obviously, 12 rebounds tonight for Mitch, and just being a force at the rim, right? Even though you're not blocking shots, I think Mitchell Robinson is going to be in the early conversation for All NBA defense this year. No question about it. No question about it. That's the next step for him, and I think he's been playing that way all season. I think he played that way tonight. So for me, I'm just going to go with Mitch. But RJ played a great game. I agree with you guys.
Yeah, he definitely played a great game. RJ played a great game. He played well from the floor. He's been the Knicks' best player so far this season, I think. So far, he's been the best player. He didn't score 45, but he's been the most consistent player. Maybe I'll say that.
Consistent player.
He's been the most consistent player. Him and Mitch.
Yeah, I was just about to say
him
that.
And Mitch.
Him and Mitch have been the two most efficient players or consistent players.
Consistent players.
All year long.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Shout out to Brian Burke. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for the Cash App. You know what I mean? Thank you for the Cash App. I think I'm going with RJ too, though, for player of the game. I don't know if I already said that, but I think I'm going with RJ for player of the game. I just like the way he's playing the basketball, playing the game. You know, I'm seeing little things that he's picked up, you know, and how he's getting to his spots on the floor. He seems to be more patient, in my opinion, right now, you know, and understanding how to get shots and things of that nature. I really do like what I'm seeing from RJ Barrett, man. So big shout out to RJ Barrett. My man D Coolis said, "Relax, Josh. We won." Relax.
I know.
Thank you for the cash out, my brother. Thank you for the cash out. Said, "Relax. We won the basketball game. Hopefully, we keep winning basketball games. We don't play again until Sunday, is it?
Sunday at 12, I think.
We play Sunday versus the Hornets at 12 o'clock. The Hornets are 2-5 on the season.
Matinee affair.
Matinee affair.
Let's break that curse too. You know, we did decent last year in matinees.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't an atrocity like normal. But let's get to winning on matinees.
Yeah. You know, any thoughts about that game really quick before we get out of here and go over to the losers lounge?
I'm gonna say it's just like tonight's game. You know what I mean? Don't take them lightly.
Mm-hmm.
They the next opponent. You look at their strengths, you look at their weaknesses, and take advantage. I know a lot of people don't like Tibbs, but this is one of the times. These are the times where I think you really gotta put your faith in Tibbs, because he's gonna have them prepared for knowing their opponent.
Right.
So let's go. Let's get this dub. Let's keep this momentum.
Yeah, preparation, no doubt. Josh, any thoughts about this Hornets game?
Yeah, you know, LaMelo Ball, you know, he's back. You know, hopefully he can stay healthy throughout the season for them. He can stay healthy. So, but I still think the Knicks are better than the Hornets. I don't think the Hornets really, based on the way the Knicks are playing right now, obviously 2-game winning streak, we're going into it with a high. I think the Knicks, you know, as of right now, are going to win that ball game. But like Tony said, we got to win our matinee affairs, no matter who they put in front of us. And, you know, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, teams like this, you gotta win them, right? Against the Charlotte Hornets.
They took us to overtime last year, by the way. Remember, they took us to overtime. We thought we had an easy win, and then, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree.
It's never been an easy matchup with the Hornets, in my opinion. It's always been kind of tough playing against them. Now, they don't have the same team. Bridges is not playing. You know what I mean? Right. LaMelo Ball is back. But it's always been tough playing against the Hornets. But I'm expecting the Knicks. I feel like the Knicks are focused. That's the one thing about, you know, when the Knicks get into these tough stretches, they seem to really do focus. You know what I mean? And what Josh said earlier is right, though. Like, fans get afraid, you know what I mean, of what's happening with the team, while, you know, players and coaches are like, all right, come on. You know, especially when you've been there before, you feel comfortable that you can get out of it. You know what I'm saying? You can play your way out of it. You can battle your way out of it. And, you know, eventually your shots are going to fall and all of those things. The Knicks play Charlotte on Sunday and then Boston on Monday.
Second half of a back-to-back.
And then Boston.
And Boston first. You know what I mean?
Let me see. Does Boston, are the Celtics on the second half of a back-to-back? No.
They probably on the first half, like last time.
Let's see. They are not on the first half. So, and they play on Saturday, and then, you know, we'll play them on Monday. And that Monday game is away. It's in Boston, I believe.
Yeah, I think that starts a road trip.
Yep. So, all right. I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Josh, any last words before we get out of here? Oh, we didn't hear you. you made some good points, but nobody heard them. You made a couple of good points there, but nobody. I'm telling you, you got you can't. Temu is not your friend. You can't go to Temu and wish, Josh. You can't go to Temu and wish. No, we can't hear you. Yeah, that's all right. We'll get them later. Temu, Wish, leave them off your list. Don't use them. I know the prices look good and, they got FAPL products or whatever you want to call it. Don't use them. Tony, any last words before we get out of here?
Let's throw them L's up. I'll see y'all in the Losers Lounge.
Let's get over to the Losers Lounge, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you, Josh, Tony. Appreciate you guys for jumping on. Folks, if you want to support the channel, feel free to support the channel, or we appreciate it if you support the channel. Cash App is $ nothing but Knicks. We're heading over to the Losers Lounge. I know we're a little bit late, but we should get going by 12. Be about a half an hour show, ladies and gentlemen. So this is going to take you right over there to the Losers Lounge. We'll catch you there. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.